Overall, they haven't played that many tournaments. They seem to still be on an upswing. They have had somewhat mixed results, but that's meant to happen. And if you ask any of Team Liquid, even in their responses on Twitter, they always seem to be confident and still feel like that things are going well. And so who to trust more than them? Who is more important than that? And on the side of MIBR, same thing. Really good performance at the major overall. Got a series past Liquid even. And now we're in a match with them together on LAN. And we'll kind of get to see it unfold on a very, very strong map.
Beautiful place to be. Dust2 Adren claiming it's Liquid's best. So let's see what that means, truly. Elish trades as the smokes plume in the faces of the CTs. They're going to try to boost the man up. Oh, not able to catch the one on the cross. Stewie clears them both. Farewell Fallen. And we've got Taco coming in from the catwalk. So it may be Liquid starting off with the pistol. You know, we saw it in the pregame smack talk. Liquid at least giving MIBR that one round.
Yeah, I mean, the thing was Taco in first at 16-0, but they didn't specify who was going to get it. So
yeah, good point.
That's a problem maybe for them. We'll soon find out. And just to get this out of the way, you know, for people who are wondering about MIBR in this match, considering they just lost, you know, their last 3 matches and depleted their chances of getting to the finals, they're still playing in front of a Brazilian cloud. They want nothing to do more than to put a victory in front of them. And now they also have the sunk cost of the fact that there's the trade going on between them and Liquid. So yeah, this is a match they absolutely want to win. So I think no matter what, if there was no other result than just them winning and being able to see the crowd be ecstatic, that is just as much of a victory for them as taking this map win into a final at this tournament. So I think we can go from there and say for sure it's going to be really, really high level, stressful and sweaty CS.
I'm down. Let's get nasty.
Let's get crazy. So yeah, head in the game now. We're 1-0 here for Liquid after a quick pistol towards A. Pretty standard stuff. Not a whole lot to analyze about that. Naf is going to jump his way out the long. Hits the wild spray, kind of a rainbow spray out as hit is secured. And Fallen from the back lines is actually here doing quite a bit of damage. But one of the main threats has been taken out, and as we can see, that pushes Fallen all the way back to the site. Looks for another shot, isn't going to be able to line it up and shoot fast enough. And the Deagle fails Taco. So Naf is just moving in on this absolute massacre at long on this anti-eco, leaving just Fur with a mag 7 in the upper tunnels.
Yeah, that range is not going to play to your favor. So 4K for Nafly, tearing him apart out long. That scout shoddy combo not doing too much for the Brazilian core. Recently announced Blast Los Angeles, July 11th to July 13th, I believe. Back to Cali, baby. Naf peeking out from the blue box, popping Phelps immediately. We get these long-range engagements all to his favor, of course. And so it's a conversion from the pistol.
Yeah. That's going to be super sick. Blast Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Nobody's been brave enough to like run a big tournament out there, so that's going to be breaking ground, I feel like. And if I heard about the venue, it's going to be a pretty sick one. So everybody's got their eyes peeled for that event. Team Liquid here 2 up, and MIBR are on basically a full save. Fur and Taka at least have Deagles for themselves. And it looks like Liquid have their eyes on mid control. Don't know if they want to anti-eco out to mid. But if they do, they've got a looming threat right side of the door. He goes out first, that's Fur.
Taco railed back. Still have a player close inside of the smoke towards mid. Oh no, coldzera gets spotted. Thought he had the element of surprise, but instead he dies, and as does Fallen. Last man Phelps, and unfortunately he is not one of those players with the upgraded pistol, so it's the USP V5. Couple of potential kills in that round, however. Check out the HP there for Nitro, Nafly, and Elish. All beneath half. Could have been a very different situation, although probably the same result. It's the 3-0 start for Liquid.
Clean stuff. Everyone's got a mid to be usually on an eco. An anti-eco can be just fine. I mean, it's so easy to Molotov out the door. You don't actually have to make presence there to throw that down. And once you know the close doors are clear, it's so much easier once you have a mid to be smoke to get out. Only think about things on your left side, have some flashes to support you. Blind players like coldzera who try to push out through the smoke and do something aggressive, and overall have clean anti-ecos using mid to Bs. Now they're making their way up cat very quickly, but Fallen is ready and prepared. He's now moved back to car, but he's already got a kill. This eases up a lot of the stress on his teammates who have to make the most of this.
His enemies aren't going to retreat, though. It seems like Liquid, they're honing in on the A site. Moving forward, trudging along, and falling all the while. Fallen, not going to nab that 4th kill. Nitro's the last one. And while the shot goes wide, it's Fur's flank to seal the deal. MIBR immediately on the board the moment they have some firepower.
Really nice from Fallen. I mean, the way that Liquid went out with the strat, you knew they weren't expecting an op to be there quickly. It was a fast cat down mid, and not an op from the CT side to get that information early. So they went ahead on a read. They were correct about it. That's a really good sign for MIBR. And then from here, it's a very difficult shot to hit. It was Exceedl's last 2 kills that Fallen got were both headshots with the op on this long kind of headshot angle that is the railing that leads to elbow. Now, Liquid continued to bully mid. Last time, although they were successful, it didn't amount to much. Nades are getting traded, and it seems like both teams are quite aware of how the other are going to play at the moment. Fallen has the opportunity to push into long B. This is one of the most powerful pushes to use with an op. It's easy to close off this angle, especially if you know that no one's crossed to the right side boxes. And once he does this, the rotations can be freed up. A can be overstacked without any risk of B falling, and eventually you can have a fast flank even. Flash actually went over his head, I think, at that moment. There was an opportunity for Fallen to push off of it, but wasn't exactly sure of the trajectory.
Nobody keeping eyes on B tunnels anymore, so mid seems to be the position of contention, and sure enough, the bodies begin to stack up. Nitro, 2 kills with that op. We see the shuffle now from Liquid over towards the B site, but the flank from Phelps activates, and he could cut off the tail end of this caboose. Sure enough, finds Nitro, the op are out of the equation, and the T's pretty much stranded in tons. They know that their opponents know what's going on, so they may change plans again, but they're doing so with only 30 seconds left on the clock. That long flank of Phelps is actually doubled back all the way to the site, and he's not going to get caught on the cross. He gets into position on ramp. He allows the terrorists to walk outwards. So much damage now versus first twist, and the second in a leash, pinned down behind the boxes with teammates beside him. But it's Phelps traded by Naf, and coldzera just sitting underneath this ledge. He's going to give up some space. 10 seconds, all that remains, and coldzera can't stop bomb. The retake's on. And we've got Fur hot on the heels of the catwalk push with a smoke in his face and a beautiful bird's eye view. coldzera spotted. Stewie's gonna take him, and down goes Fur. That's Liquid right back on the board.
Extremely well played from Liquid, but MIBR made that round as hard as possible. It was a key smoke that coldzera threw into the B tunnels that changed the game for Liquid. Obviously, that long flank that Phelps pulled off, you'd think that was gonna win them the round. They got that initial kill. They were shut down at B. They had to come back into the enemy territory and then get up cat. Fantastic couple of shots from Nitro to open up the round, but MIBR really almost brought that back. And Phelps making the rotation, not only to fast flank top mid, but then to come all the way back to the site, clearly through Liquid through a loop, because they knew where Phelps last spotted. They knew there was only one A. They didn't even bother thinking about the ramp because they didn't think that he was decisive enough to get there early, and they were wrong. Unfortunately for him, that wasn't enough, and they stood strong. It was a good 2v2 from Stewie and Nafly to pull out that post-plant situation. And now MIBR are back on a mixed buy. It's not a really strong position for them. Liquid know that they can scout this round out, take their time, bleed out the utility if possible, and then move into something with a huge advantage and utility left over. It looks like the server's gone quiet just a bit, but Liquid are consistently persistent. They are always trying something, and we've seen the flashes get traded. We've seen the Molotovs go out early. This time, they're poised to pounce. We've got 3 outside long, 1 on cat ready to go. Fallen's here with just a 5-7. We'll see if he's going to make a good argument for this pistol.
Good spotted, takes a bit of tag damage. Fallen comes back in, and he will fall. Now this is, of course, 2 terrorist smoke grenades, which are meant to enable their cross into the pit. Sometimes this is just a complete fake as well. You know, it can get the CTs very wary from the back of the bomb site, but Phelps is going to play in a closer position, much closer position. So close, in fact, he catches off Naf, but then immediately the entirety of MIBR dies. 3 survivors up from Liquid, 4-point lead, 5-1.
What's incredibly precise about that timing is that the smokes plume at 43, so you know that you still have time to get up to the site before the smokes dissipate, or after the smokes dissipate, excuse me, and you could see that Phelps was using that as an opportunity. Maybe there's so little time left on the clock. Maybe they throw these control smokes too late, and maybe they'll push through and fall right into my crosshairs, but Liquid were clear about how much time they had left over, and that's very important. We've seen teams block themselves out of long and then not give themselves enough time to cross, and also use 2 of 5 smokes when you need 2 more to actually get across long itself. Now we're into another anti-ego. 5-1 here for Liquid. Not exactly on fire, but kind of knocking on the door. 2 kills come easy and early. Fallen in a similar spot with a slightly worse pistol, depending on who you ask.
Half closed, but not biting on the bait just yet. Spotted through the side. Poor Taco. Everyone gets a chance to fire back. Now that's going to activate the bomb carrier, moves through mid, up the catwalk towards that A-bomb site, and, well, following the last piece of the puzzles on the hot heels of the CTs. And sure enough, he'll go down as well. So, Naf, easy peasy, cleans it up with the MAC-10. We've got Team Liquid just sailing forward.
Yeah, sailing forward, it's a good way to describe it. You know, absolutely no resistance at the moment, just running through these rounds easily. And you can see coldzera just went ahead and bought instantaneously. We know he's ready to get into another meaty rifle round. We don't know how good MIBR's chances are of winning said rifle round, but we'll see what their plan is going to be for how they want to start things out. There's a number of problems. We can go through that list, but that might get tiring to hear. Instead, I'd like to see what MIBR are going to employ for an opening strat. They've actually picked up a 2-op. There's a 2-op situation. Fallen started out a round on Cat. He did also start out a round on B. They've been kind of dynamic in that sense. I don't know if he's going to change anything up this round. And it's going to be important to keep an eye on him as Taco is going to take that to the small site to allow Fur to roam around freely at mid. And Phelps is actually getting aggressive on Cat. So this second op is going to be a completely and utterly disguised.
Oh, that's close. So close to the edge of the smoke. Looked like Stewie or Twists down in tunnels. Would have had eyes on it. Phelps creeps in, sees the barrel. There's the kill. Nitro's down for the count. The spray will not connect to an additional kill. Still, there are bodies here for MIBR. 2 defenders on this side of the door. Molotov pops above the head of the player in the corner, so he doesn't have to move.
I don't like how they traded pieces there. Phelps getting up on Cat was great. He lurked into a strong position, but there was no follow-up. Even though Taco was here to support from mid, he was just watching over where Phelps was. How is he supposed to actually help Phelps? Going 1 for 1 on the CT side is rarely favorable, and I don't think this is one of those situations either. But they at least get a lot of info, so there's something to be said about that.
2 players long doors, 2 up Cat with bomb. Stewie the escort in this situation. Defense has a man floating long and 1 on Goose. Molotov'd out of his position. Fallen cuts off the first body. They get that peek off of the bomb site as well, so they're trying to hold back on both fronts, but they have lost 1 avenue, and coldzera caught in the open. That is an A site which has crumbled beneath the feet of Liquid. They'll stampede forward and take their plant.
It feels like Liquid's game plan right now is to try to starve out their opponent, wait through that early round, get into strong positions, make it seem like there's going to be a rush, and then force MIBR to make a push they don't want to do, and then to do it without kind of a plan. And I think they called on that, and they got that at the beginning of this round. They also were able to, beyond that push, have a kill come out that's isolated, and then have nothing left for the other team to show for it. So now Taco's going to take this gun in the next round. Fur's going to keep his AUG as well. The round score is the most important thing at the moment. The game's slipping away from MIBR. And yeah, it's a quick 7-1 with another bomb plant. How good is the money is another question for me for Liquid. They have stacked up the dollars, right? I mean, even with the loss bonus, we've seen so many lopsided starts. Sometimes we've seen comebacks, but it's usually been in the second half. Here at over 10K apiece on 3 players, you think Liquid have a very strong chance of fighting through even the continued loss bonus that MIBR will have, even if they win around on an island. So still, honestly, in very good form and shape. And this for them is certainly a test more than anything else. How is this game going to go? If we win this game, sure. How badly can we win this game? How good can we look moving into the semi and final?
Yeah, I mean, when we put Astralis at the top of the list here in terms of the 6 teams competing, the 2 contenders just behind them for that second place spot at the moment is Liquid and ENCE.
Yeah, both 2 teams that both lost to Astralis.
Yep, and have won their opening game in round 3 here of day 2. So personally, We don't know what ENCE is up to at the moment, but we know Liquid is looking like they will have that second spot.
Yeah, we have seen ENCE, so we know that they are in very good shape
100%.
as well. Yeah, they are vying for this spot with all of their might too. So
it's our top 3 dogs at the moment, but fast round. They're already up catwalk. Fallen peeks into this. Doesn't have nearby support. Draws back that long player. Elige flirting with the smoke. Got MIBR with a heavy beat defense. Pays off, and that Fur can cut off Elige first and foremost. Down he goes though, twists. Double headshot so far in the round. coldzera's position, unpredicted, peeks and tries to get an additional kill. Will do so successfully, finding Nafly and cutting us back down into the 2v2, but Nitro hits the headshot.
oh, and they know where he is.
Or no, just gets him from the back and sections Taco off.
Yeah, they could pretty much just evacuate. Does the bomb make its way up? Yeah, so we've got one player left at Xbox. Lots of information now, audible cues for days. Taco's not going to assume he's still there. He can come out and flank CT spawn late if he knows and he heard that Taco just made a jump and reloaded. And if it doesn't even get that far, it could be Stewie to take this kill, though he is low. So forcing a player to come for this plant is going to be a big deal. This is kind of cool that the bomb is planted here. They can actually be spotted from the CT spawn as well. Yeah, and there it is, that late play to come out, and it's Liquid for the first time in this match on fire. Or they've been on fire since round 7? Or is that?
No, it's the first time. It was broken up in between.
Right,
1-3.
Okay, I thought it was crazy. Yeah, looking very strong. What can you say? That was a nice last second rotation, something that highlighted from the ENCE games, just how good they were in those 2v2s. Really smart that once Nafly came out late for that mid to B, and it was actually so annoying that he did that. You know, he came out so late, got coldzera in the back when he thought he finally, after all that time, had cleared out mid completely, and then turning that into a rotate back to A with the bomb.
Fur just gets decimated, kind of similarly to what we saw with Phelps when he got his chance at running up catwalk. But this time, not even one kill to the favor of the Brazilians. Just because Liquid's on fire doesn't mean that their momentum will evaporate, especially not in this one. They're looking at easy pistol rounds, you'd think. They're curious, not just pushing catwalk, but now tunnels eventually too. And Liquid content to sit back, relax, and find their easy round wins.
They know how antsy MIBR have been in these previous rounds, and that's only going to be amplified on an eco.
Oh, they're just getting massacred at the moment. That one scout, you know, finally comes into fruition, finally gets a chance, but it's in the 1v5. All the while, Bomb evacuates towards the opposite side of the map.
You know what they say, Connor? All 1v5 start with the first kill.
Who says that?
I just did right
okay.
now. Okay.
So the pleb. Woo! Another. 6 in a row for Team Liquid. 9-1 the scoreline. Cash for days. Aim is crisp, but a challenge lies ahead here in the 11th round. We've got a double op setup with 3 AUGs for MIBR.
There's a couple of times where, so Fallen got that one round. The one round they won was actually very legitimate. Very contrast that to other stomps we've seen so far this tournament, where the one round they won was just like an eco because they seemed totally lost. This one was Fallen getting that really impressive 3K. What a shot from Stewie. I mean, you can say what a shot, but it was pretty much just timing. Caught Taco jumping through his smoke as well at mid, because he's tried it so many times. He has a good idea of when to actually click mouse 1. And that's all it took. Elige molly's out. These closed double doors. There's not going to be another threat looming. You won't have anybody to spam falling back, and that's pretty much what he was postured up to do.
Very spread defense for MIBR. Everybody's playing on their own at the moment. Closest thing to a crossfire would be if this plat player on B peeks window, but other than that, it's just going to be separate engagements. So if you're rooting for MIBR, cross your fingers, folks. They're each going to have to succeed on their own accord. Fallen misses the first bullet.
It seems like that shot is always being baited out by an actual body and not a flashbang.
Yeah.
Once they throw the molly up to get somebody to move back a little bit, they try to hit that nice shoulder peek, and this round they were successful. It puts Fallen in a very tough spot again. If he gets molly out of here, there's not anywhere he can run. His final destination in this round. We've got a man at K-Sharp. He's also got an op. All eyes on Fur.
Still holding on to a flash and a frag. He's lost a teammate, but uncrouches straight into the chest of Elige. Ooh, and even Blind catches twists. Knows there's another man back in the tons. Dangerous shoulder peek, gonna cost them. That's the bomb carrier down. Nafly and Stewie, all that remains at this point. Fur is just hammering.
Oh my God!
One after another. Again, Fur with an ace, his second of the weekend already.
No assistance in sight, but he's his own life support. What a fantastic op round from him. Oh my God, from K-Sharp. Probably the best spot to be in if you've got a bunch of people coming in tunnels, but here was 2 people in tunnels who had a good feeling where he was gonna be and that he was waiting and timing that peak, but a flash timing shot to even out what Stewie did at the beginning of the round, and then nailing all 5 players. I mean, what more can you say? An incredible round from him. One of 2 that we've seen so far at this event.
Oh, we got a casualty early, or is that a... Yeah, seem to have missed that opening kill.
Yeah, Fallen goes out, and I think he may have also retained a knot from the last round.
That was another pick through mid doors, like versus Taco last round.
So there it is.
Great use of the utility. Catches Cold Zero on the fallback.
You see he's tried to do that before, right?
Yep.
Just that crack P, molly it out, wait for him to jump back. There's no way for him to get out of line of sight of that door, and you don't really want to fight in the fire. So, and it also just doesn't cost you that much on T side. $400 to make that play every round, and if they do it 3 out of 15 rounds and a half, like that's always going to be worth it. Elige is successful this round, and they also know that they don't have the threat of falling at A. That's no secret. They saw the opposite at B as well. There's actually probably no reason that Nitro should have been killed there unless Taco had pushed. But long presence is still a threat, so is Cat.
I actually see a smoke on the radar for tunnels, so curious kill on the opposite side of the map. Fur hears the movement above him. Bomb is on site. Got Naf, who could eventually activate to try and clear Phelps off long. Because if not, Phelps is going to have to make a move. I mean, MIBR, they're not even in a position to save at the moment. They're still all just so boxed in.
Yeah.
Time plays against them.
Nafly up in his treehouse right now. There's not really much to do except wait. And let's see if Phelps clears this. He seems to be like pretty, seems to be pretty worried about anybody inside long tunnel, but it's one of the lesser played angles. Obviously, you need somebody to get you up there too.
Anybody who plays that position can have their paycheck deducted.
They're playing to win.
Yeah. What happened to honor, Launders?
Is there anything dishonorable about playing to win?
Well,
putting you in a bind right now, live on screen.
Constricting stuff. The double op moves forward. Fur and Taco gonna chuck one over to Fallen.
Match pause is called. Can't think of a better time to do it. That, you know, the fact that like Cat was wide open and then went ahead and took it, it's like, what can you do? You know that the op is in B. It can't rotate back to help Cat. There's no way that ever happens.
Yeah.
If you think about the rotation for the B player, okay, you have some refresher spot, then you make your way past mid. You have to clear the double doors. That means you have to make sure that it's smoked on your half, and then you have to cross under the smoke. Then you have to get the CT spawn around to the site or get boosted fast Cat and then get on Cat. So for Liquid, it's pretty simple. Go up Cat. You know, there's no op there. That's like the #1 threat that you have to worry about. And also, there's a very low chance that player went to car even. So they went ahead and kept it simple, and that's pretty much all they've had to do all game. They've been patient, they've capitalized on MIBR's aggressive pushes, and they've been able to disable the op or neutralize it in a couple of these rounds. And when they have it, they've lost. Both of these rounds that MIBR have been able to win came off the back of fantastic op plays.
Oh! Okay, goodbye. Oh, poor Fallen. Eviscerated.
You know, that's the perfect team model as well. To scope in on for that to happen.
Yeah. Dirty peeks, but Taco had a chance there to cut back the numbers. Fur has to play reserve because he has 12 points of health, and that's the man who's now tasked with locking down mid. We actually have a shuffle from MIBR back over towards the B site. Minute on the clock for Liquid to still make these CTs squirm. We've seen them in a similar position, spread out. The numbers thin for MIBR.
Trading mollies is big. It's going to cost Liquid just a little bit more utility to get up. And the flash goes out. They make the cross happen. They've gotten control of it. They're still, I believe, Phelps here holding it long. He's played his card of pushing all the way through once or twice already. So he'll be hard pressed to try it again. Stewie going for an sorry, not upper tunnels push. Stewie holding on to upper tunnels with his op. And it seems like he's actually going to call for his teammates to go this way, so Fur might get some more action.
Can he do it with even lower HP? Oh no. Molotov's going to force his feet out to the open. Taco gets chased as he hides behind Car, and Naf burns Fur. Taco, known in this position, so easy clear for Liquid, taking the entirety to the B-bomb site, all the while having a man in mid to cut off any potential rotations, but those rotates, non-existent. The two surviving members of MIBR look to hold on to their guns.
That's the ultimate sign of dominance in a round, when you can leave somebody all like on another part of the map to get those late round exits or hold off rotations. I mean, that means you enter the site way too easily at the other team, and the other team's going to be quite aware of that. They can't even be comfortable saving now, sitting in these spots. Don't know if Fast Cat will get cleared, but Elige is carefully and meticulously clearing these angles as he walks his way around to the ramp. Naf is going to get under the crosshair of a player, but that's going to activate footsteps here. You'd expect Elige gets his kill and coldzera gets his, but there's no way for him to fall back. He's got to fight his way out.
That's too funny. coldzera baits the first kill. Elige is creeping all the while. Tense unwinding phase towards the end of the round, but it ends in the same result. Liquid clearing the board of MIBR, chucking the guns to the wayside. Honestly, chucking MIBR down into the gutter too. This is a hell of a lead. 9 rounds up.
Yeah, no doubt. Kicking them while they're down.
In front of their home crowd, Launders.
Right, yeah. I mean, yeah, they don't care, right?
No, of course not.
Why should they?
Yeah.
They're here to play. Fast Cat, Stewie peers over the top of the smoke. It's going to be directly up Cat and not out mid-doors this time. But because MIBR decided to boost, they're early enough to make Presence drop a smoke, slow down the plans of Liquid. It won't change a whole lot. I mean, even when you do this Fast Cat, you still get early Cat control, which is nice. coldzera in a tough spot. Doesn't have a lot of help.
That's been, I feel like, a common trend throughout these CT rounds for MIBR. We've seen a lot of players without help. A lot of players having to just hold things on their own.
Yeah, it seemed like he was going to push by himself, but then he fell back to that fall-in op spot where he can drop into CT spawn.
Support over the shoulder now. 2 players actually on the site, welcoming Liquid in.
Someone's got to ready a flash for him if he wants to peek. He doesn't want to have a 2 come flying around the screen.
Oh, Nitro is going to get traded back by Fallen. Twists gets the best of him, 4v3 for Liquid. They're going to shuffle that bomb up Cat. It sits on the back of Stewie for the moment. And again, we have this like stalemate over on long A between Phelps and Nafly. But Naf's gonna come join his comrades up the catwalk. They'll go, using their utility thoroughly, clearing out all the corners, minimizing any chance at a CT going ham. Now Taco makes the best of the flank. It's not just him. Phelps has actually joined on the long A push. There's a smoke in their face at the moment. Nafly spams back through, does catch the first kill, but may not anticipate a second. Gotta be cautious. Unfortunately for Phelps, even once he decides to make his move, he is entirely alone and even unsuccessful in winning the very first duel.
Yeah, not really many options, and that round's over, but they had to buy because they don't have much to work with, and they don't have much leeway with the rounds. It's going to be a scout for Fur here. No op on them in play for MIBR. It was a pretty nice peek from Nitro. You always expect coldzera is going to get a kill from that spot, whether or not he decides to wide swing or give it a shoulder peek, pop up. He's just so consistent in those tough situations, at least getting one, but not today. Early damage is done to Taco. Pretty standard setup once again. MIBR not doing anything interesting outside of making some Cat presence, but again, with limited tools, how can you blame them? Pretty damning words from Taco to just say, we just weren't good enough. You know,
yeah,
it feels it's really hard to hear that, first of all.
You're talking of the losers interview following their previous loss.
But yeah, you know, just when everything fails, you just kind of like have to look at yourself almost. But it's good that he has that kind of attitude about it in general. It's just that they are better than this, so they've got more to show.
Oh, drawn right in, Fallen fully flashed. And it's once more Liquid just getting the best of the both engagements. You know, it was Taco who said that there's nobody else to blame but themselves. I think you can also blame their opponents for just being so damn good. Everyone else seems smooth so far this weekend, most notably Liquid, ENCE, and Astralis.
Yeah, coming out of major form was a big point of conversation for a lot of these teams, whether it was Liquid, MIBR, ENCE, and Astralis, and it just seems like Liquid, ENCE, and Astralis are continuing to play like out of their mind, and that's pretty much the hardest part. Tough situation for Ferdinand. Can he get that double dink? He stays hidden for just a moment, but doesn't get another kill. Round's over. 15 rounds are down. 13-2 for Liquid. They must be feeling pretty comfortable.
Yeah, most certainly. It's a hell of a T side. You know, we have seen teams so far here in São Paulo turn things over once they're on the offense, but 13-2, that's a hell of a tall order.
Sips of water being taken as we prep for the second half. It could be something of a comeback just because we've seen, we've never seen MIBR be in a somber mood, melancholic at times, but never out. And they've also just proven to themselves so many times they can come back. So I'm obviously going to hold my breath, but we'll go one round at a time. Here we are into the pistol. MIBR with 2 to show for it. Could call this imperative, but that might be a bit too obvious. Legion's here on Cat, and he's got a lot of info. His main threat is the lower tunnels, obviously, because he wants to be able to like freely spot top mid, maybe take a peek at spawn. But as soon as he turns his head to the side, he'll get it blown off. Lots of players go tunnel almost every single round. Congregation of the T's in upper now. Got a man at fence, and his only support is outside the site. And he's been spotted.
Oh boy. Stewie off the flash, gets a chance at some headshots, only finding one. Door peek from Nitro, body stacking up, and rotates running over as the flank also activates. MIBR, they're getting crunched on this bomb site, and yet they're still fighting their way forward. Nafly's been delivered a bomb. It sits at his feet, but he overextends inwards, and Twist is gonna have to try and clutch this. He's seen. Oh my God, what? Both frags! Are you kidding me? Both headshots, both beautiful.
Unreal. He comes out for that quick peek just to bait someone to showing face on the right side of double stack. And he ends up just hitting his 2 first bullets. Absolutely magical. And that's what you'd expect from
magnificent Van Dolken.
Yeah.
Making magic happen on that B site. Such a back and forth affair as well. It looked like MIBR had their opening. It never looked comfortable at any point as they exited to the bomb site. But it looked most uncomfortable when Twist starts snapping necks. So, we had Stewie and Nafly predict a 16-1 win, 16-2 looking possible at the moment. 3 bodies for the CTs stacked up on Cat, aggressive and successful in dropping Taco first. And these are unarmored bodies, so you're looking at ripped flesh from bone. Double M4 frag, Naf falls back, and damn, coldzera.
He's pissed.
Just deeks him. There's a chance. You know, you get a little overconfident at times, and sure enough, you'd think the M4 bests Nitro, but not the case. Just Phelps now, tagged up. Knows he's being pinched from the same directions, but has to evacuate the bomb site, and in doing so, he'll die. 15-2, Liquid with a masterclass performance so far.
Just no chance to do it. It's been super frustrating every step of the way from MIBR, and even though we see coldzera, you know, go to the extreme, push through that smoke, hit that crazy 1D. You're like, he's feeling it right now. He's pissed off. They even get stopped there in their tracks. The 2v2 is strongly in the favor of Liquid at pretty much every point. And even though he kind of predicts where that peak is going to come from, he still loses the battle. Just again to add salt to the wound. So could be looking at the last round of the game, but maybe not. It's a full buy up from MIBR. And unfortunately for them, weren't able to secure that pistol or come through with that very close eco win, but have a much better chance here in this potentially final round.
Oh, they lose their offer immediately. 2 CTs, 3 counter-terrorists prepared for that long peek. Stewie's gonna win his individual duel versus Taco, and this is gonna leave MIBR deflated. Team Liquid just washing over this offense. We've got Stewie hot on the heels, lurking aggressively down through tons. A potential push on long as well could be thrown forward, and they are just plucking them apart. piece by piece, limb by limb. Stewie's even gonna linger a bit longer. Deals additional damage. Both of the remaining terrorists so low, and Nafly comes back to finish things off. Folks, it is Team Liquid over